phones, Babylons can't crack the code.
Yo, what do YouTube? B Kelly back again with another banger. Today's video, y'all, I'm gonna be making a video kind of on the NCAA. No one is really talking about this, and I saw a lot of stuff springing about on Twitter on Saturday, kind of about the college football world in a sense, from a receiver at OU. Now, I'm not just going to be talking about him, and I'm not going to be saying that all the NCAA does is just bad things or corrupt, because that's not the case. I'm not here to throw down the NCAA or anything like that, but I'm going to talk about a few instances in just these past couple seasons of just weird things and how they've handled it compared to other stuff. Now, the first case I'm going to be talking about today is with Oklahoma receiver Trejan Bridges. To give you some background information on Trejan Bridges, he is currently at OU and he is a sophomore, and he was a 5-star recruit coming out of the 2019 recruiting class according to Rivals.com. Now, in his true freshman season at OU in the 2019 college football season, he would mainly be a backup receiver for OU. His stats included 7 receptions for 82 yards and 2 touchdowns. However, his season would be cut short along with Ramondre Stevenson and Ronnie Perkins because of a failed drug test before their college football playoff semifinal game versus LSU. These 3 players, according to the NCAA's rules, were supposed to be suspended 6 games, which Ronnie Perkins and Ramondre Stevenson would be suspended for 6 games. They ended up missing the LSU game and missing the first 5 games of the 2020 college football season, and they would make their debut for this season at Texas Tech. Unlike those 2 players, Trejan Bridges did not come back after 6 games. He is still actually suspended, and he has missed a total of 9 straight games. And after he found out he was not going to be playing in Bedlam this past weekend, he sounded off on Twitter. This is what Trejan Bridges said a few hours before the Bedlam game this past weekend on Twitter. "This whole thing is absolute BS, and I'm tired of it. Everything. I have missed more than half of the season. This is pathetic." In his next tweet, he would go into more detail, saying, "I have taken 10 plus tests in the last 2 to 3 months, and they have all been negative." As of right now, it appears unclear if Trejan Bridges will ever actually be able to play a game this season and be off his suspension. The next player I'm going to talk about is with current Illinois tight end Luke Ford. Luke Ford, coming out of high school in the class of 2018, was a highly touted recruit and one of the best tight ends in the nation. He was a 4-star recruit according to 247 Sports Composite, and he was a top 100 player in the nation. Luke Ford would have many offers coming out of high school, but he would decide to commit to the University of Georgia. In his first season at Georgia in the 2018 college football season, he was in a backup role. He only had 1 reception for 4 yards. But going into the 2019 college football season, Luke Ford would announce he would be transferring out of the University of Georgia to the University of Illinois, saying this: "I would like to thank the University of Georgia for a great experience. I greatly appreciate all the coaches that helped me through this process and made my dream of playing college football a reality. I love all my teammates and friends that I have met in Athens. Also, I'd like to thank all the UGA fans for being amazing throughout the year. However, due to my grandparents' deteriorating health and my family's inability to afford to see me play in person each week, I will be transferring to the University of Illinois." Since Luke Ford was not a graduate transfer from the University of Georgia, he had to apply for immediate eligibility to play for the University of Illinois, so he could play in the 2019 college football season. Now, after hearing all this, you would think Luke Ford would be able to play in the 2019 college football season, and his application would be approved, no problem about it. But that's not the case. His application was actually declined. And when this happened, it was a lot of controversy, as it seemed like everyone in the nation was extremely mad about it. The Free Luke Ford hashtag started out, and everyone just seemed very displeased with the NCAA's decision because they let people like Tate Martell and Justin Fields get immediate eligibility, and they really didn't have a reason, but they just wanted to play immediately, and they didn't want to wait to play. But someone who actually wanted to transfer out so he could play in front of his grandparents who had very bad health, but he got declined. And probably the worst thing that came out of this was in February 2020, Luke Ford's grandpa actually passed away without ever seeing Luke play college football again, just because the NCAA didn't want to grant him immediate eligibility. Now, the next and last player I'm going to talk about today is Brock Hoffman, who is currently an offensive lineman for Virginia Tech. Now, at Coastal Carolina, Brock Hoffman was a very key part to their offensive line. He was a starter after all. Brock Hoffman was not transferring from Coastal Carolina because of a coaching change or because he lost a position battle or anything like that. Similar to Luke Ford, Hoffman actually transferred to Virginia Tech to be closer to his mom, who actually had suffering after effects after having a brain tumor surgically removed. But just like Luke Ford, he would be denied immediate eligibility. Hoffman would actually state 2 reasons why he was actually denied immediate eligibility according to the NCAA. He stated this on his Twitter: "Virginia Tech is 5 miles outside of the 100-mile radius from my house. And now that the NCAA is a group of doctors and has stated that my mother's condition has gotten better since being at Coastal Carolina University, yet the left side of her face still has facial paralysis, hear loss, and eyesight issues, and will never be 100% the same." Fortunately for Hoffman's case compared to Ford's, he did not lose a family member, and his mom can still see him play. And actually right now, Hoffman is a starting offensive lineman for Virginia Tech, and he's even considered to be one of their better offensive linemen right now. Now, although this whole situation that Hoffman and Ford had to go through really sucks, the NCAA has kind of woken up in a sense. They have now passed an act where they will now grant every athlete who wants to transfer immediate eligibility in the 2021 college football season, but there's a catch: you cannot transfer more than once. And what I mean by that is you can transfer and get immediate eligibility, but if you transfer again and you're not a graduate transfer, you will not be receiving immediate eligibility. Now, although future transfer appeals and cases of people wanting to play immediately and transferring so they can be closer with their family is starting to look very bright, Trajan Bridges' case is starting to look very dark and bleak. Trajan Bridges, like I stated earlier, has missed 9 straight games of the 6 games he was supposed to miss due to his suspension of his failed drug test, which really doesn't make any sense at all, because the 2 other players involved with the situation, Ramondre Stevenson and Ronnie Perkins, are back in playing football. They only missed the 6 games that they were supposed to miss. It's starting to get a lot darker in his case. No one knows when he'll ever be back, and no one knows if he'll even play a game this season. This is a big impact player for the Sooners. This is someone that can make an immediate impact and even help make their receiving game a lot more deadly. I feel really bad for the guy. I think this is just really messed up that he has to keep on missing games and everything's just unknown about his future right now with the rest of the season when everyone else involved with the situation is back in playing football. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't get suspended for what they did, but it's very messed up that he isn't even back yet. I mean, the rule states it's 6 games, not 9 games, not 10 games, not 11 games, not 12. It's very messed up to miss a whole season of football just because they don't want to get on it and say, oh yeah, you can go play football. I think it's very messed up what the NCAA is doing, kind of just taking it very slowly and not approving him to play yet. I feel really bad for him, and I don't know the details of what's happening or what even happened when they failed the drug test or what details emerged from that. I'm looking in from the back, and I think this looks very bad for the NCAA. Well, guys, if you guys liked the video, remember to smash that like button, turn on them post notifications, and subscribe for more videos. B. Kelly out.